It's archaic. Yep, you are online.
Cool. So everything looks good.
All right. One question before you start. Are you playing music?
Yes. Can I turn it off?
Is it the Delver's Drop music?
Nope.
Then you should.
Done. Oh right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Broadcasting. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Last time you and Aaron streamed, for a lot of the audio was cut out because Twitch has changed their rulings on how they permit copywritten music. So.
Got you. Oh, that's cool. I mean, it sucks, but that's cool.
Yeah. It only matters because we're putting these on the website and stuff now.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess I'm live, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Well, this will be short. This is very impromptu. Baker's machine, he uses Mac, rated OS X, or something. It's like it was destroyed, so he's trying to save the day. So with that being, I have a lot of stuff to do, so I'm gonna hang out for a few minutes, chat.
No problem.
So, I can actually show you some cool glitchy stuff that's just happening.
I told Baker 2 weeks ago that if there was a build, I would just play the build for an hour and mess around and see what we could break.
Soon, friends, soon.
I like the word soon.
Yeah, I actually give them really close notices. Yeah. Well, Aaron has been rocking out a lot of cool stuff, and I've been doing a lot of also somewhat cool stuff, and mixing lots of different stuff. It's cool. And right now, actually, today we're working on trying to fix some lighting stuff because Aaron needed a new window function, which I broke, and then that broke lighting for him. That didn't go so well. So that was what I'm trying to fix today. But in the process of hunting that down, fixing it, did some cool stuff. Not really cool stuff, just kind of funny stuff.
Do you have a build to show? Baker alluded that you might.
Oh wow, that's actually not what I expected to happen. Well, I'm playing it, so I
Okay. Yeah, it's up. Okay, there it is.
That's actually that. Oh, because I did that over. That's right. Sorry.
You're asking about the green artifacting that you've got going on?
Yeah. No, we're trying to do some stuff, get some tests running for some stuff that Aaron needs for making the walls pretty. So Aaron is working on fixing all the minor glitches and the ugly stuff walls, which have been in since the beginning of time. Next to ring function, which I wrote, which actually didn't work anyway, and then proceeded to bring his lights as well. So it was actually double-minded.
Yeah, the wasn't me agreeing that it was ugly. It was agreeing. It was understanding. I didn't think they were that bad looking, but I believe my title is ever the optimist when it comes to pixelscopic. So.
This is one of the things I was doing. Mapping out quads on it's actually kind of cool looking.
I like the green, even though it's not intended.
Yeah, it's really fun to actually hold some blue in the game, so I bet these are wrong. Actually looks okay.
I like the new walls.
Um, yeah, we'll go back to this. Somewhere I messed something up with that. Sake of right now.
Is Aaron in office today?
Yep, he's right next to me.
Awesome.
Guy says hi.
Yes, I do.
Aaron says hi.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. A year down the line, when you guys have your own convention dedicated to Delver's Drop, you'll have to do a panel on all the behind-the-scenes work he's been doing.
We're doing lots of stuff. A lot of his work has been shown in Kickstarter updates, I believe.
Yes.
So if you look over here, so I'll show you one of yours. So you see this over here? Where I'm moving the mouse, which doesn't look like the mouse. It looks like blocks. But anyways, where I'm moving the blue blocks, you can see the back sides of the walls, right? So it looks like
Yes.
that is being made sort of spaced out. I think it's on that pit. Well, anyways. So he's actually fixing that, and you can see there's actually right next to it, there's some clipping issues. He's fixing that. And then, obviously, you guys have probably seen all of the cool stuff from pits, and graphic stuff. So something similar will be happening at the tops of walls, tops of wall columns.
Oh, cool.
So he is.
Yeah, Baker showed the pit graphics.
Yeah.
Will they be changing as you go down? Or will they all...
I can't hear you because that's so freaking loud. So this is pretty cool, right?
Yeah. I asked, will the pit graphics change as you go down?
Oh, pit graphics. Actually, I have no idea. Maybe. I don't see why they couldn't. I was found that yes, probably not. So yes, we'll take that off for now.
Don't want to spoil too much, but it would make sense that they did.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Undoubtedly, I'm sure that there will be change as you go down.
So what's the point of making everything blue?
Well,
Or is that something that broke?
no. So I was testing that new rendering thing that I added for him. Doing
Okay.
That was just earlier, but that was kind of cool. So I actually took it to save it for memory's sake.
Right.
Yeah. So that was just stuff. It looks like there's actually like a very subtle GLR, which has got some things to be. Basically, with lighting enabled right now, his whole thing is just a big light, and be the dark buffer. Not been doing properly, which sucks. But yeah, very cool. Cool shoes. So I need to look into that, but that would be incredibly boring to show on the stream. So I'll try to think of something else to show. So.
It's probably too much to hope that you guys could show the updated first boss.
I don't know if such a thing is actually updated.
Oh, okay. At least
when
I know it was updated from the last time I saw it, but I don't know how long ago that that was.
We can look. I don't actually have no idea.
I mean, I'm sure it's nowhere near on the list of things to get to, and it's a long. I mean, I'm sure it's on the list of things to get to, but I'm sure it's relatively low down, is what I meant to say. The opening graphic is really cool, though.
Whenever the music starts playing, I basically can't hear you, so that's
Yeah, I said the opening graphic is really cool. Kurt did a really good job. I'm pretty sure he's the one that did the opening graphic. It was either him or Nathan, I had thought. Oh, I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how recent. I just remember you guys saying that you updated some of the art for the teeth. You did indeed. Okay. I just know that there are new viewers in the chat room. Yes. Yeah, but you do get to see the new teeth. They definitely didn't look. They definitely didn't look like that when I got to try out the boss fight.
Cool. Yeah, well, I think that they are pretty much good to go. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool boss fight. I don't think I've ever really played a game with a boss fight like that. Yep. Chat says that looks so cool, and it is. It's a really cool boss fight. It was a little difficult to see what you had to do, but every time the teeth crash, blocks will drop, and you have to move the blocks to. There's like an enamel coating over the teeth, and you have to break that so you can go and smack it. And then once you do that, that weird spinny galaxy-looking thing will pop out, and it's like a separate set of teeth, and it'll try to crunch you, and you have to dodge it and hit it. It's a really cool fight.
That all sounds totally true.
And every once in a while, during the teeth phase, a gigantic spike rolling thing, which I think you guys saw, it was actually pretty easy to see that, will roll out, so it's like a tongue. Very, very cool. Very difficult. I don't think I've yet been able to fight that boss without taking a little bit of damage.
Just a little bit.
I only lost one shield in the last time I fought it. So I basically fought it for like 4 hours. Because no problem. Just, if I can't perfect the game, I won't be happy. And by perfect, I mean do a no damage run.
Good luck.
Yep.
But you've got some serious skills. So. Plus,
Well, thank you.
You know all the inside secrets and whatnot. So.
Yep, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon. Between Doom and I, we will have figured everything out.
That I would not doubt at all, actually. So.
Were you around when I was telling the story where I was messing with the physics engine to a point where I was like hockeying bottles and things into the pits and stuff?
I believe I remember that, yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd heard that.
Hockey mod would be cool.
I think it would be. I know Doom and I were talking a long time ago that I mean, obviously there are limitations to being able to do a fully online multiplayer, but if that ever came to fruition, taking one of the hockey pucks of death and just making it like non-lethal and doing a 2v2 hockey team would be really cool.
I'm just looking over some code real quick.
No problem. How's it going, Retro Death? I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's someone in the chat room. Oh, and I think we forgot. This is all work for the game Delver's Drop, because I changed the game. In Twitch you can have whatever game it is, but I put it on creative because usually we're doing art to hopefully increase viewership.
So is there anything you would particularly like to see from the me scrolling through random code, Mr. Cobb?
I mean, I guess just seeing whatever new physics stuff you guys have been working on, I think would be cool.
Tricky to demonstrate at the moment.
All right. Trying to think. What else have you guys been working on?
Broken lighting has been what I've been working on.
Show us your broken lighting.
Well, it works on my machine is the problem.
Oh.
It doesn't work on Aaron's machine, which is an interesting problem to have. Thought I had another change file.
I'm trying to think what else you could show off. I mean, I guess just some of the new levels in general. The new level generation in general would be cool. I know the walls are still a little messed up.
Yes. Yeah, it's probably fine. I'm not on how it all. I'm not even actually sure how to change it.
Yes, Lord Xeris, we did have a Kickstarter, and it was successfully funded, and the game is greenlit. That is all accurate, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have a website. I'm sure Doom will get to it before I do, but if he doesn't, I will post a link to the forums. Messing around with code.
Well, something is. Oh, that was that. Shouldn't be like that. Stick. Out like this. Oh, just Hey Aaron, what's the name of the test state that you've been working on? Is it test or test run? Test. Thanks.
The only thing that currently controls really is just side.
nurse should be able to quickly go through them. Just sit down and restart it, which is fine. Just gonna lay out walls. Let's see if this works. Another one.
Yes, it does.
Another one.
Oh, it's even generating enemies.
Temporaries.
Okay.
I don't think they do much. Actually, I'm not sure.
They weren't doing it last time you guys showed it off.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. So you see the little like yeah, what do you call them, like little cartoon text bubble pop-ups.
Yeah, yeah.
AI stage.
Mhm.
That's pretty fun. 'Cause I don't think I've anyways, yeah, we can keep generating a few more. I'm actually pretty curious because I've never done this either.
I like how the wall fades away when you get close to it. That's something that didn't happen.
Oh yeah, that is something that Aaron totally reworked the wall transparency stuff. So previously, like when we get down here, all of these going facing the walls would fade out, but now it's actually based on screen space occlusion, which is pretty fancy. It's actually like the right way to do it, aka the way that like true 3D games do it. So.
Mhm.
It's pretty fancy. So basically, these south-facing walls or south-facing faces will never be transparent, except in the case where, extreme case where you're
Mhm. That's really good though.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy. Oh god, and I'm pretty sure you got it working properly for the next person too. So it's all depends on the character you have. There's another example though of like which is in the wall. So where the heart is at, you can see there's the big, and then here you can see the back of the wall, so you can't get back to it. And that's kind of the two pieces of it. We'll have to make it pretty cool.
Right.
So yeah, he also did some work where if you look up here at the top, you see how previously this probably would have been one huge wall segment, but you got some audio division stuff in here, so it'll actually divide up wall segments by inserting columns. Oh, I think I called them whole teams. But yeah, the random generation stuff is looking pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks really good. We're everyone is awaiting the release. More than anyone, I believe Coby and Baker.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't blame you. Coby has a family that he wants to go back to. He hasn't left the studio for months.
That's not true.
That isn't.
That's not true.
Baker has secretly chained Coby up.
Nah, Baker actually really hasn't.
Yeah, I know. That is true. And he's getting married very soon. In fact.
So this actually, yeah, this is
Yeah.
quite a bit of variety. A lot of cool features. So like over here, you can see where the kids are like effectively being roped off and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty nice stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, pit management would definitely be one of the things that I would urge some overhaul from the previous build.
Well, I'm not really working that much actually. So how about this? So I did hack in something up to get F2 and it just reload to get a new room. So you can just hit F2 over and over again to see new stuff being generated, which is cool. Aaron actually wants to talk a bit about some of the random stuff. So
Sure. All right. Sounds good.
He's just gonna come over here and use my machine.
Right.
And yeah, I'll let Aaron take over for a little while. I'm just making this slow, so I'll make it a slow smoke.
Alright.
But then whenever I get back, I'll probably move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so F2. Magic window.
Yeah,
Might be
you
it.
hit F1 instead of F2.
Once the GL loads, just hit F2 on the switch.
How's it going, Aaron? Good.
Got now the music's playing again. It's very loud. Okay. Try talking again.
I'm here now.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
So,
How's it going, Aaron? How are you?
Going pretty good. Just going to talk about some of the stuff I've been working on, so I can talk about it in a bit more detail than what Coby was saying.
Go right ahead.
So for one thing, these kinds of chains around bits, that's actually a configurable property. As in, right now I think it's set to like 70 or 80% of the walls being covered, but you can actually or the bits being covered. But you can set that to 100% for like, you know, earlier levels, or 0% for later levels, just as a option for difficulty. Another thing is that these hits are actually replacing what would have been walls otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can have a level that has no walls at all and is only pits that are not blocked off at all if you want to be a jerk. Make the player suffer. But yeah. Apparently, one of the later things about it are these kinds of treasure gaps, as we're calling them. So, whenever the level generator just happens to create a little nook of the wall like this, it will always, well, it's a configurable property of what chance it will be to generate a box there. Or, I've been talking with Baker a lot about how loot will work from now on, because if you notice, you break a whole bunch of big boxes, you get far too many weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about with the walls is that something Coby did, which was really clever at the time. If you look at this wall right here, this column, you notice that the wall kind of goes right against it and stops. And like right here you have a kind of spike that's kind of half embedded in the pillar.
Yeah, I do see it now.
Yeah, that actually used to be the case. What happened was before, this pillar would actually just be a sliver that was drawn over this wall, so this wall would actually sit behind it. Which was actually really, really nice because it made the transition from the wall to the column really, really smooth. But as I've been working on walls, Baker and I have been talking about things are going to be changing to the walls to make the transition smooth anyway. So, another thing about drawing the column over the wall was that, I'm not sure if this room has a good example. It's not.
Hey, Aaron,
Yes.
you do me a favor.
Yeah?
You can see Coby has his volume mixer up.
Yes.
Can you scroll until you find XSplit and boost that up a little bit, because you're apparently really quiet. There should be an XSplit. Yep, it's right there. I see it. It says streaming live Twitch. It's right next to Pixelscopic Twitch Google.
Okay.
In between Skype, just boost that up a little bit. I don't know if
like that. I think that'll only increase the volume at my end. Has it gone up
I don't.
for you yet?
Oh, I can't hear it, but it'll take 30 seconds for chat to tell me. I don't know how to fix. I would need to be in the studio to fix it properly, but I'm hoping this is at least a small temporary solution.
Yeah. Or I can just talk louder. The thing is, Coby has these big hulking headphones, and I can't actually tell how loud I'm being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified that I'm actually just shouting my heart out, and everyone in the office is getting mad.
Let them get mad.
But yeah, if I can find a room with a good example of the feature that I'm trying to find. Here it is. Okay. So if you look where I am right now, whenever you catch up, this wall right here, this column right here, looks fine as it is, and it would be fine even if it was being drawn over this wall. And previously, in the more simpler design rooms where the walls would just fade out as you would go to the right of them, this wall would be invisible, so it wouldn't matter. But something I discovered is that with this column being drawn over this wall, the column just kind of awkwardly jutted and clipped over and looked really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had to undo Coby's clever little tricks, and now all the columns are just drawn. Everything is drawn with their correct draw order, essentially. And then there were other things I did, like previously a wall could either be drawn over a column or under a column, which works in most cases, except for this front wall right here. You know, the wall itself should go behind the front parts of these pillars. However, the wall itself should go in front of these narrow sides of these pillars. And that was something that previously wasn't possible before, and so that's something that I was able to add in. So now the walls and columns in general just look a lot nicer.
Alright. That needs time to update on the stream. There's a 30-second delay with Twitch. In a perfect world, I would be there in the office doing these streams, but a vast continent separates us.
Yep.
Looks good though.
Yeah.
I was telling Coby, I like how you got the walls to disappear when you get near them. That was definitely a problem in other builds.
Yeah. Well, it's also a problem, like, I would try to take screenshots for the monthly Kickstarter updates, and I would like generate a whole bunch of levels just to try to find one place where I could take a screenshot that would show some of the walls, but wouldn't have this, like, tacky fading issue. Where it's like, you know, I'd be standing in the middle of the room and half the walls would be gone because they'd be turned at too many angles.
So I'm being asked to make a suggestion to you.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some pots and stuff into the crate piles that you guys are putting in.
Yeah. Like, this is just really just trying to get stuff to spawn. Like, there will be much more variety. Like, they won't just be boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just very early.
Right, it's placeholder stuff. I understand. I also like how you've put safety rails along some of the pits.
Yeah. That was the stuff I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But, like, things that go into how that works. Like, for example, it tries to place these posts next to each side of a pit, and then automatically connects them all. But then there are things like this situation here, where if you just had this solitary post connecting into the pit, it would leave like an awkward gap here.
Right.
And this kind of building that I'm putting to the stream to catch up. So it detects features like this, and we'll just add an additional chain post here, so you actually have a more sensical railing.
I'm also being asked, why are there larger tiles on the floor?
That's just something we've added into, like, the wall tile or the floor tile configurations are completely, at the moment, random, but they're configurable. So if you wanted to have, like, all tiles of equal length placed evenly around the room, you could. Or if you wanted just a plain flat colored floor, you could do the same thing. But with this, you know, if you wanted some graphics in the floor to be larger in some directions, this system allows you to have like larger tiles that are just oriented in different ways, as opposed to having to stick to always consistent, always exactly the same tile sizes.
I see.
So it's like if you imagine that each of these tiles are just like collections of pebbles or whatever, well then you aren't able to have any rocks in the floor that are bigger than each of these little mini tiles. Unless you have these bigger tiles, which are made up of little tiles, but will always arrange in the same pattern. So you can have larger graphics, and you can configure whether you want the tiles to be able to be rotated. Right now everything is turned on, so some of them are upside down, some of them are flipped every which way.
Oh yeah, I see the markers on them now. I hadn't seen them before.
Yeah, they're just A through Z and a couple of numbers and symbols.
Right. Do the letters correspond with anything?
No, that was just to make sure that they were all getting spawned and to check their orientation because they're so simple. But the idea is that, with this kind of floor tiling system in place, to create a new zone, you won't have to like open up tile and lay out all the tiles again using a new tile setter again. The game will just generate levels using whatever tiles that you give it. So, if we had a tile set that wasn't just these debug characters, essentially, we could just say, hey, use this instead, and it would.
Right, it makes it all automated. Which is what you guys were trying to accomplish, which seems like you've done so. Well, that's good. That definitely lightens the workload.
Yeah.
Instead of having to do, I think, 7,000 different tiled setups.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. I'm probably lowballing that estimate. It all seems to be coming together pretty good, Aaron.
Thank you.
They're doing a good job.
Really happy to hear that, because I do the best job I can, but you lose some amount of perspective when you're just, each day just in the code working on. Like sometimes you're just working on these little things that are barely noticeable, and you're not really sure, how much of a difference you're making, and then someone who hasn't seen the code, seen the game in a while, sees the stuff you've made.
Well, if you ask Baker or Coby, they'll say I always say that it looks good, but I'll never lie about that sort of stuff. If I think it looks bad, you trust me, you'll know it. But this is all looking really good. You've done a really good job.
Yeah. By the way I just moved pipe just now.
Yes, I see.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I figured. Well, you've been clipping through stuff a lot, so I figured you had some sort of coding on that lets you move through obstacles.
Yeah. In honesty, like, we just haven't set up the exact dimensions for each of these.
Mm-hmm.
So they just don't have collision boxes set up yet.
Right. And I was asked, can you still throw small crates? Which
Yes.
I think the answer would be yes, because you're moving like pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd figure that's still possible. And do you know if it's still in the design for the Gladiator to be able to move and pick up and throw bigger boxes?
Yes.
Okay. And was that a yes that is still the case, or yes that you know?
Both.
Okay. That was something that was added after all was said and done for the Kickstarter, and definitely was something that's really cool.
Yeah. Like all of these props and boxes will have weights assigned to them. And you know, different characters will be able to lift different amounts and push different amounts. You know, everything's up in the air for what the perks can be for an individual character by character basis.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, like, you know, what you can pick up might be something you can increase via perks. It's an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, we discussed that before, which I think is a pretty cool idea, especially for the Gladiator. That's one thing that I think. I don't know how much you've played all the classes, but the Gladiator was definitely, I would say, the blandest of the three that originally came out, and even as the Assassin and the Beast Keeper came out, that remained the same. He was not very distinguished against the other classes, but I think that'll make him pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just running around smashing boxes. Now, something you might not have seen if I can try to get that bed out here. This is just a temporary thing for testing, but I've temporarily added a poison effect to these guys. So while the UI is a bit messed up, you can actually see my health kind of flicker and go down.
It's catching up now. A little bit, yeah. Your character definitely turned a bit of a different color.
Well, from taking damage, yeah, there's no actual, like, visual effect on the character from the fact
Oh,
that it's
okay.
actually added. And I just fell down a bit.
The death of many a delver.
Yeah. I'm currently still working on wall fading stuff right now because, you know, you don't want a pillar wall to fade out completely if you're far away from it, but you don't want to have to wait until you're right next to it for it to fade out.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I'm working on is a gradual system where it will fade out partially if you're farther away, but then fade out pretty much completely when you get next to it.
Right, makes sense. You don't want it just to be either always, I'm trying to think of the word, either always opaque or otherwise. You don't want it to be a binary state.
Yeah. It's interesting coming up with the rules for how the transparency ought to work, because, like, from where I'm standing right now, like, columns like these, you don't want to actually fade unless you're behind them.
Mm-hmm.
But then for these columns, you actually want a buffer near them where they fade out. You don't want to have to be entirely under them before that. And so,
Right.
you know, you can come up from below here whenever the stream catches up and be able to peek around to that corner, essentially.
Right. All makes sense. Is there anything else you'd like to show off?
Not the moment, like, there's more wall stuff coming. Because one thing now that we're pretty much, we decided on the measurements for world units and pillars and placement and all that. And we've managed to come up with rules that specify that all walls, their lengths are a multiple of 36 pixels long. And at the moment, when a wall meets a pillar, it just stops. It just gets cut off. And that doesn't need to be the case. We're going to be able to have essentially different tile sections that are multiples of 36 long. So we can have special, essentially wall tiles next to pillars so that the barrier between wall and pillar looks a lot nicer, and it'll make it so the walls are more than just a single repeating pattern.
Mm-hmm. All code mumbo jumbo to me, I'm afraid, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Essentially, the walls will look a lot nicer and have a lot more variety, and we'll be able to add more stuff in the walls to make them look even more nicer.
All right, that works. Yeah, talk to me about when it comes to like coding and stuff. If you were talking to like a 2-year-old, I think that's the appropriate level. The generation looks good too, though.
Yeah, I'm pleased with how fast it is, considering like the number of steps involved.
Mm-hmm.
Because each time I add a new thing, whether it's creating, it's like originally for the path placement, like these pipes and these chains that kind of block off the path that you're on were all subwalls. These kind of purple blocks. And so
right.
There's a path to change some of those into pipes, and then there's a path to change some of those into chains, and then there are passes to create all these boxes, and it has to keep iterating to add all these things because you can't, add multiple of these things in a single step because they don't mesh well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really pleased that, with the number of steps we have in so far, loading a level is pretty much instant.
Right. I don't know about the last build, that was pretty much instantaneous, but when the builds were not just endless drop modes, which were just, single solitary rooms, but whole levels would take a good 10 to 15 seconds to do, even on my PC, which is pretty beastly when it comes to processing power.
Yeah, there's also, some database versions that changed over time, and that was a big cause of load times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when that changed over.
Yeah, because, before it would, load in the database, and we'll just continuously read from the database to load in each individual object.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it just loads in each individual object once, and then just copies it whenever it needs to spawn another one.
Right.
Which is a bajillion times faster than trying to reread the loaded database.
Makes sense. I was asked, will wall flags or portraits ever return? Speaking of making the walls look much nicer.
Yeah, that's one of the things, as far as the walls go, there's the 3D objects that exist right now are just pillars, walls, and doors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we'll be doing when we add in more wall graphics is adding more 3D stuff like that. So we'll be able to add the windows and any kind of tall graphics of any size or shape that we want to stick on the walls.
Makes sense. I know Coby said he wanted to get some work done. We've been going for an hour. Does he want to wind this down? Right. I see him in the webcam.
Where's the webcam? Oh, it's from the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea I was on screen at all this time.
You've been on screen this entire time, Aaron.
I'm eating restrooms, so you got 3 or 4 times.
He's gonna use the restroom
All right.
He'll come back and take over.
Sounds good. Does Baker want to pop in real fast?
They're curious if you have anything to say.
Other than screw Apple.
Hey, it's Baker.
How's it going, Baker?
Oh, going okay. So basically, the newest Mac OS 10 update, El Capitan,
Yeah.
destroyed all of my audio stuff, and so that's why I couldn't get it back up and running today. I tried reinstalling that stuff like 3 times, and it still didn't work. And I didn't even think about that because you're like, oh, it's an update to my OS. It'll make things better, right? No, it ruins everything.
No.
And it wasn't even a major update, is the thing. But I guess they did some major stuff behind the scenes, and like locked out several little add-on utilities that I use.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's always something, right, Baker?
Well, yeah. We're gonna hopefully buy a new PC pretty soon, so I could use my PC for streaming, and someone else could use the second PC kind of thing.
Right. I was saying in an ideal world, I would just be able to be in the studio
Yeah.
like an hour before, but we are separated
Cost
by
of
a...
living here in Missouri.
Yeah, we are unfortunately separated by a vast continent. Well, some of a vast continent, not the entirety of it,
Yeah.
but quite a large space.
Well,
Well,
do you have any questions for me or anything?
Well, how are you doing? Is I think the most important question.
Oh, just like kind of a little bit worn out, a little bit busy prepping for the wedding and all that, but getting.
I got the invitation, by the way. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you are welcome. It was fun to make. I got them out a little late, but
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, you'd shown me before, but it definitely looks really good in up close and personal.
oh,
Everything is looking good though, game wise.
yeah. I assume you can still see what's going on. I can't actually see what you see on the screen, so I don't know what's getting posted. You probably see me in video, I guess. Okay. Yeah, Aaron and I were working on the walls, fading in and out, and those look really awesome now. I love the fact that we sort of accidentally made these secret passage type things, the little treasure crevices, treasure gaps.
Yes, I think that's what Aaron called them.
And I want them to really encourage people to explore the rooms and kind of search every little nook and cranny.
I'm all for that.
So, yeah. So I've been, basically I've been doing a bunch of boring stuff lately, like trying to kind of reorganize how some of the graphics and object assets are pulled in, so that we can make each zone a little more unique without killing ourselves just due to sheer confusion and frustration.
Right. I would say on the exploration thing, I've been I finished Jotun, but I don't know if you've seen that game.
Yeah, I was kind of watching it on Kickstarter. I don't think I backed, but it looks pretty cool.
I mean it is. I have some grievances. Maybe we'll talk about that next time we stream. Because I think they're grievances that should be brought up, especially in relation to Delver's Drop. I know we don't have a whole lot of time on the stream left, because I know Coby wanted to make it a shorter stream. But one of the things, since you brought it up, I will mention is definitely exploration. Like, the levels are vast and they're beautiful. I mean, they really are just they're wonderful to look at. But they have like the health upgrade, and they have like the move that you can learn in each level, but really they're really easy to find. Like, there's no like, they give you this beautiful panoramic, like, just art to explore and to move around in, but there's nothing to explore. It's empty.
Yeah, so pretty but no substance kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's a real shame, because I mean, I don't necessarily think the gameplay is great. And like I said, I'll talk about that next time we stream, so I don't want to bang on too much about it in a shortened stream. But that definitely the art. I don't know. Have you seen The Secret of the Kells? Secret of Kells.
I
Sorry.
have not watched that one.
I would suggest it. I think it's on Netflix. I think Katie would like it a lot.
Yeah, we watched Song of the Sea, which I think is the same company.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure. French-based animation studio. Actually, I didn't know that. I figured they'd be Irish doing, the book, talking about the Book of Kells. But yeah, definitely. I mean, that's when I saw Jotun, that's the first thing I thought of. And really, there's one level where you're like running over a frozen lake, and the way they kind of do it to show like enemies are getting near for you to dodge is they'll give you like a shadow, and you're basically just dodging like a gigantic serpent that like slams out of the ice, but you see it like rising out from the depths of this frozen lake, so this gigantic like anglerfish looking face like slowly materializes. So it's really good. Unfortunately, there's just nothing like there's another level, one of the lava, like the fire levels, where the gimmick, each level has like its own little gimmick, which I think is really cool. But the gimmick for that one was you hit the giants that you fought would throw rocks onto the lava, and you would use the rocks they throw to like make bridges to other little like islands. And yeah, it was a really
I should really just buy it and play it probably. And well,
I would
actually,
recommend it.
I was gonna say next week, but since I am getting married exactly 2 weeks from today,
yes,
we might probably I will not stream next week or definitely the following week because I'm not even in town because we're getting married about an hour away. So yeah, next 2 weeks I won't be available. Week after that I should be probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll set something up. Either Coby will do a short stream again, or we realized kind of like last minute. We thought that XSplit was installed on Nathan's computer and realized it was not, or at least not for. We changed around user profiles and stuff. So anyway, I'm going to try to do some kind of housekeeping on our, like making sure everything's installed correctly and prepped for streams here pretty soon, but probably not till after the wedding.
Well, I know that people will want me to ask this, so I'll do it in a veiled way. If I had a build, I could just do the stream and show off the build.
Yeah.
So do you think in the next 2 weeks that would be possible?
Well, okay. Here's one thing that we have been, and I was going to ask some questions about this if we did a full stream today, but we are working on, like, I have a guy who's helping us out on the website, so it's not taking away development time, just a little bit of my time to kind of explain some stuff to him, but he's helping us work on a page where people can download experimental builds and past builds and stuff like that. We just need to get the login stuff set up because we don't want it to be just like, hey, free download of, for everybody. It would be like Kickstarter backers or people that purchase. So I would like to wait until we have that running. I don't know how fast that will happen. Probably not within the next week. Maybe in the next 2 weeks, but I'm just not totally sure. So I don't know. We could maybe do. I'll talk to Coby and see what we can work out, basically.
Okay. Because I mean, I know it would be really tough for me, but I would totally be happy to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I actually have to run a little bit early today too, so I should probably either let you go, or I don't know if we were wrapping up the stream anyway.
I think so, unless Aaron has anything else to add, or Coby has anything else to add, I think we could wrap it up.
Did you or Coby have anything else to add?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done for the day. It would be nice for I know Coby had a few things on his task list he wanted to try to get done, so
yeah, he said he wanted to keep it short. I will, I guess, sign us out. Thanks for everyone for coming. A couple new people. Baker, I'll touch base with you before the end of next week about stuff.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
This has been, I would say, concept art, but it hasn't been much concept art today. For Delver's Drop, you can pre-purchase the game right now at delversdrop.com/buy. And while there certainly is a build out, I don't know if it's one that
Yeah, we're working on getting new kind of crazy experimental builds like this one up.
Yeah, it doesn't quite reflect all the changes. Still a lot of fun to play. I may be biased, but I would definitely suggest going and pre-purchasing the game. Not just to play the game, but also to support the developers. And I'm Vase or Kyle. You can find me at 830 to Awesome on YouTube or just VASAE on Twitch. And I do all sorts of video game stuff, a lot of food stuff. Spent like 6 hours yesterday, kind of like refocusing and getting back into uploading because I guess I'd gotten a little bit lazy about that. So, yeah, I think that's all we have.
Yeah. Well, thanks for helping us stream today. Sorry for
absolutely
the usual technical difficulties.
Oh, it's fine. One of these days, Baker, I will visit you guys in Springfield, and we'll maybe not have so many issues.
Well, I just need like a half a day to just like get everything installed and double checked and tested.
We have always known that Apple is not good. Well, maybe not you, but I've always felt that way. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right. See you
and
all.
We will see
I guess I will see everyone in a few weeks, but
yes. There will maybe be a stream next week. We will see what happens.
Yep. Talk to you all later. Actually, I need to figure out how to turn XSplit off.
You go up to... Oh, I turned off my XSplit. But there should be a broadcast. And if you go down, you will see pixelscopic.